Well, it is 10:05 a.m. in the morning. What is it? September 23rd, 2024. I haven't gone to sleep. I fell asleep like I want to say at like midnight or 1 last night, and then I slept for a couple hours, woke up, couldn't go back to bed. Anyways, so that's why I'm still up, and that's why I look like this. But anyway, the next quarterly announcement for the Commander banned and restricted list just came out. It's bad. It's bad. Holy moly! It's like blowing up everywhere. It's like blowing up. Everything somewhat Commander related is going crazy, for good reason. Let's switch it over. Dockside Extortion is banned. Jeweled Lotus banned. Mana Crypt banned. Values banned. Like a lot of people, I thought this was fake, and like a lot of people, I'm like speechless. I don't know what to say. So right off the bat, you may remember from my last video and just the general attitude towards the rules committee, the RC, everybody wants them to ban and do something. And I said in my last video, and a lot of people have said, that these are all cards worth banning. Dockside, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, and Nadu are all worth banning. They all are deserving of bans. The only exception maybe being Jeweled Lotus, only because it's just unplayable in any other format. But yeah, these are all staples in every single deck. Except for Nadu, but Nadu's like a weird basket case. The philosophy of Commander prioritizes creativity, and one of the ways we have reflected on the rules is to encourage a slower pace of game than traditional formats, gives decks time and space to develop and do different things. We have a goal to make it easier for players who enjoy slower, more social games to have an environment for them to explore. So first of all, creativity, sure, because these cards do hurt creativity in deck building, but Commander has been and will continue to be a format for people who enjoy slower, more social games. These bans don't affect that at all, because you're either playing CDH and you're going into it expecting these cards and fast games, and the games will still be somewhat fast, or you're playing not CDH and these cards just don't show up for the most part. So that doesn't help at all. Mana Crypt coming down on turn 1, you can have Explosive Start, Signet, or Talisman land another Signet, 5 mana untapped on turn 2, and the accumulated threat, yeah, that doesn't matter. It's a meaningless drawback. True. This is all true, and yeah, like they said, they're correct. It is a meaningless drawback as far as the damage, because you have 40 life and you're probably gonna win before that. Jeweled Lotus can give you 5 mana turn 2, although it's way less impactful, I think, as far as your total mana goes compared to Mana Crypt. Restricted what you can do with the mana. You can just do your mana really. You can get your commander out really fast. Defensive abilities such as Ward can't be interacted with that early in the game. That's stupid. That's a dumb justification. I don't like that. There's no really strong commanders there are no commanders where in the deck you're going to be running Jeweled Lotus that are going to have Ward, because it's pretty much only CDH decks, or max out high power non-CDH decks that are going to be running Jeweled Lotus. So maybe Voja and Mirim, but that's about it. So I don't understand. Jeweled Lotus is a fine ban. Because it is a fine ban, you don't need to come up with stupid, bad, wrong justifications like defensive abilities such as Ward. That's just wrong and stupid, okay? No, Jeweled Lotus is not being banned, and it's not overpowered because of commanders with Ward. That's just not a thing that happens. That reasoning is insane. But yeah, sure, the banning is fine. It's a completely useless card, which is why maybe So banning it is a weird thing because it's completely useless outside of Commander. But yeah, Ward is not a reason to ban Jeweled Lotus. Okay, let's not lie. Dockside Extortionist, it's not normally quite as explosive as the other two, but it can go mana positive on turn 2 and start generating substantial treasure. Been on the board for years, and we've shied away from taking action against it because it has scaled well with the power level of the table, which is true, but it's a frequent contributor to more egregious snowballing starts. This is all true, and like I said with the other cards, Dockside is well deserving of a ban. Although I will say a lot of these reasonings, they don't mention, and in this statement at all, they don't mention competitive or high power CDH commander at all. So it feels like they're trying to justify these being banned in like mid power, which is why they mention stuff like Ward that is a complete non-factor. Just say that you're banning it for CDH. Don't pretend like these bans benefit casual at all, because they don't. Like, these are all understandable, reasonable bans, but these are not bans for casual. These are bans aimed specifically at CDH. Let's not pretend otherwise. I don't understand why they feel the need to pretend otherwise. It's very strange to me. Talk about the elephant in the room. We're not banning Sol Ring and have no desire to. Yes, it would be banned, but it's the iconic card of the format, and it's sufficiently tied to the identity, and it defies the laws of physics in a way no other card does. It would fundamentally change the identity of the format. Just say it's because it's in precons. You don't need to come up with all this hubbub about it being an icon of the format. You could say the same thing about Mana Crypt and Dockside. They're not played in anything else. Just say it's because it's in precons. That would be an understandable reason not to ban it, but without all this extra stuff that doesn't make sense. This poor like extra reasoning that's just not needed. It's unnecessary. There's another ban here. It's explosive, but anyway, there's another ban here. It's explosive in a different way. Nadu Winged Wisdom has been injected from multiple formats. We took a look at it for Commander. Blah 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 blah. The way it wins is that it takes a long time and is non-deterministic, and it's got the, Simic Shell, Lightning Greaves. Interacts badly with cards that are staples of casual play. Again, Nadu is a fine ban, but this is a CEDH ban. Let's not pretend like you're doing these bans for casual. This is insane to me that they're pretending that these are helping casual games and casual Commander. No, that's not the case at all. Nadu Lightning Greaves pops off. Yeah, I'm sure there are people that built it casually and have that, and it's going to be, a little annoying. These are high power CDH bans. These bans are not for casual at all. I don't understand why they're insisting on something that nobody's gonna believe. These do not benefit casual, or the benefit is like so small. So let's not pretend that these are bans for casual. I don't understand why they're doing that. They're just like pretending that they don't know what CDH is, that it doesn't exist. Anyway, so like I said in my previous video, and like I've been saying in this video, these cards are all fine bans. They're all cards that could be deserving of bans. But like I said, these bans are aimed specifically at CDH, and it's very, very weird and confusing and just frustrating to me that they're not admitting that it's aimed towards CDH in any capacity, or even acknowledging that that CDH or the competitive format exists. But as far as CDH goes, sure, these cards could use bans. They're worthy of bans, but they don't address Thassa's Oracle combo, or Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, Tainted Pact, or Underworld Breach combo at all in any capacity. So now, yes, it is going to improve deck building creativity, but now if you're like aiming for high power CDH, the like variety of decks or options is so much slimmer now, because now you're gonna have to go for like Grixis Piles with Underworld Breach and Thassa's combo. So yeah, like if they're making this ban for CDH, which they might as well be. Again, I still don't understand why they're insisting that it's not, or just acting like it's not. But any deck that's not blue now is much worse, and then any deck that's not running Thassa's or Breach is just like unplayable at this point. So while these bans are fine, they're heavily shifting the format in another direction towards Dockside, or not Dockside, excuse me, Thassa's Oracle and Breach. So if Thassa's Oracle and Breach were touched, this would be a much more like even, consistent ban, or nerf across the board for CDH decks. But now this is shifting it way towards Grixis Piles like Ragra and Silas. So overall, while individually these cards are definitely, like, I could see them being banned, this ban update I think is just bad. It's bad for the format because it's shifting it way towards these other win cons that haven't been touched at all. Anyway, so let's take a look at the prices of Dockside Extortionist. $30, $19, crashing from like 70, 80. Let's refresh, see if there's anything lower. 20 and 24. Mana Crypt. There's a bunch of different editions, so it's going to be a little weird to check, but let's see. Kaladesh, who cares? 287 dropping to 120. 234, 125. 188 to 75 to 93 to 74. That's insane to me how fast it just instantly. Because right now, it's 10:18. The ban announcement, or was that like 9 or like a couple minutes past 9 this morning? It's been a little over an hour. Jeweled Lotus 35, 44 for regular versions. Let's refresh. Okay, so 40 and 37. It's absolutely tanking. I expect Jeweled Lotus to be like $1 or $2 because it's unplayable. It's quite literally unplayable in anything but Commander. Anyway, like last time, let's go towards the Reddit side of things. Again, it's Reddit, so take it with a grain of salt, but this is mainly just to kind of gauge a reaction. Insane's leaving me speechless. It left me speechless. I thought it was fake. With the new ban list, we should change the picture of the thumbnail for the subreddit because it used to be Mana Crypt, and I don't know if you can see, but now it's Mox Diamond, so they already did. So the rules committee decided they wanted to see if the CDH community was actually going to consider a separate rules committee / ban list. Now, I touched upon that. I talked about it in the last video. There's a whole bunch of drama surrounding it that I didn't get a chance to make a video on. But yeah, if it stays like this with just these banned, nothing else being banned and nothing being unbanned from this, it's gonna happen. Other people thinking it's a joke, which I don't blame them. And now Sheldon must have been a roadblock of sanity, because this is completely deranged. When most people, myself included, thought it was the opposite. That Sheldon, rest in peace, of course. But Sheldon, being the head of the RC, was holding the format back. But now maybe we were all wrong. Yeah, I was trying to build Minsk and Boo, but now Dockside being banned, non-blue decks are just completely screwed. And then no Moxes being touched either, which is also fast mana. A lot of these comments that you're seeing are just people, RIP to anyone who pulled this and was happy and showing it off. There goes hundreds of dollars of cards, myself included. I don't even want to look at how much mine are tanking. Like this comment says, we want Commander games to be super long, which is weird because again, these are not casual. These bans are not affecting casual. These are bans directed right at CDH. These are not casual bans, and so the discussion of game length is very, very weird. But yeah, standard Thoracle lists get off scot-free again. which is insane to me that that hasn't been touched, because that's by far the most like frustrating thing to lose to in CDH, and it does sneak its way into casual games. It's happened before. It's happened to me, and it's just very frustrating and not fun. So it's wild that Thassa's Oracle combo has not been touched. And again, like this person is saying, we are now being pigeonholed into Rogsai, Blue Farm, and maybe Magda, because Rogsai and Blue Farm, those decks both benefit very hard from Underworld Breach and Thassa's combo. So the like two of the best, or to some the two best decks are walking off scot-free. So they're being basically untouched, which means they're getting much, much better because now their competition is going way down. And yeah, even Magda, which is one of these options, is getting hurt hard by the Jeweled Lotus and Dockside. Lots of people just not happy about it and starting and mentioning the separate ban list now, because where we left off with that last time was they didn't like the separate one that was proposed, and the people behind it were bad. Nobody wanted to splinter the format. But now with this, they're like, yeah, maybe we should make our own ban list. Rest in peace to every deck with red in it. What the actual fuck? True. Except for Underworld Breach. And again, banning Crypt is good, but why not ban all the fast mana? Sure, Sol Ring should be banned, but whatever. But no Chrome Mox, Mox Opal, Mana Vault, blah 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 blah. I agree with these comments. Thoracle Piles just got a significant buff, which they did because, again, they're untouched. Everything else is way worse now. RC is disconnected from reality. I don't know if I would go that far, but they're completely disconnected from CDH. They don't even acknowledge it at all, and they're pretending like these bans benefit casual. They don't. It's very, very frustrating, this misrepresentation of these cards and these bans. And they're like, yeah, they're not disconnected from reality, they're disconnected from CDH, and they've openly and deliberately been like that. It's very frustrating. Again, I don't expect them to balance the format around it, although it might be nice, but like these bans don't pretend like they're for casual. They're CDH bans, and they're very, very bad CDH bans. They completely nuke anything that's not Thassa's or Underworld Breach. It's crazy. Oh, speaking of fast mana and expensive cards, why not Lion's Eye Diamond? It's like $400, and it's gonna go up. It's gonna go way up now. But Lion's Eye Diamond, the main piece for Underworld Breach combo, you're not gonna touch that or even mention it. And it's fast mana, 0, and it gives you 3. Yeah, you dump your hand, but it's fast mana, which we don't like in the format. This is insane to me. Why they thought this like chunk of ban announcement was good. It's absolutely insane. Again, these individual cards being banned is fine, but they aren't touching other problem cards that are now, as a result, getting way, way better. Thassa's Demonic Consultation Tainted Pact, and then Underworld Breach combo with Lion's Eye Diamond, which is fast mana and is very expensive and will get even more expensive. So these bans are really bad in that sense, because they're shifting way towards those strategies and really hurting any kind of fringe deck that wants to try and compete. And the most frustrating part, I think, is that they don't acknowledge CDH in any capacity in the announcement. In this announcement, they're trying to act like these are good for casual play. That's not the case. It's so frustrating that they're acting like this is for casual play. It's not. You never see these in casual play because they're not liked. Yeah. But because they are considered CDH cards. So why are you pretending that these bans are for casual? I don't get it. It's very, very frustrating. Oh, Jeweled Lotus and Ward. Who cares? That is complete. That's complete BS. That's baloney. That Jeweled Lotus is good because of Ward, or Nadu's good because of casual cards like Lightning Greaves. Don't. Why would you frame it like that? That's just wrong. It's wrong, and you know it. Okay, I don't think you're that completely separated from CDH and out of touch. I don't understand this reasoning at all. I really don't. It's shifting way towards just those Grixis value piles. It's really going to hurt the diversity of this CDH meta and the high power meta, and just this it's just deliberate refusal at this point to acknowledge the CDH community at all. And I don't understand that. I don't understand why. It's like the CDH is a very small portion, which is why, like, even though I think the rules committee and the ban list should be tuned more towards higher power, I get that it's not, because CDH is a very, very small portion of the community. But why are you alienating this very, very small portion? Yeah, it's a small portion, but there's no reason, regardless, to alienate them and completely deliberately ignore them like this. It's extremely frustrating, and honestly, I'm very frustrated and very disappointed in these changes. I did think these cards would be good bans, and I did want changes, but this is like the worst implementation I could possibly have imagined, other than like unbanning silver bordered cards, which, yeah, they go over that. Who cares? That's not the main point at all. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these get reversed, because they're pissed. I'm frustrated not by these, like, the individual bans and having those cards come out of my deck. I'm much more frustrated about the deliberate ignoring of CDH and the insistence that these are good for casual. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm frustrated. A lot of people are frustrated. Casual people are like, ooh, the CDH tiers. I don't understand that. Like, I get it if you don't like CDH. I completely understand. I didn't like it at all for a while. But again, even though CDH is a very small portion of the community, why are you, as someone who plays Commander, so willing to just laugh and shit on other members of your community who play your format? It's so weird. This whole thing is just very frustrating, and I just jumped on to make the video. We'll see what happens from here. I don't know. Will there be a separate ban list or something? Maybe. Will some get reversed? Maybe. This is just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I know I've said it over and over and over, but that's what it is. It's just frustrating. And yeah, I'll see you later, I guess.